Today, as we mentioned, is National Fentanyl Awareness Day, and this is a real one. Honestly, this is not one of those made-up things where it's like, whatever, I don't know what this is, I don't have time. This, we do have to pause and think about, to remember those who have been lost, but think about the solutions to this problem so we can prevent these unnecessary mass deaths of our young people. It is a true crisis in this country. Fentanyl overdose is the leading cause of death in Americans ages 18 to 45. I mean, that's the vast swath of living that we do, 18 to 45. You're young, you're vibrant, you have it all in front of you at that age, and it's the leading cause of death right now. This issue cuts close to the bone for me personally. As I've shared with you before, my sister had an opioid problem through no fault of her own. Honestly, she was prescribed this stuff by doctors back in the, era where the doctors were saying to patients, it's not addictive, which is not the same thing as fentanyl. Fentanyl is far more dangerous. Frankly, it's more lethal, but it's a similar road. And then my dear friend Eric Bolling, who you guys know from Fox News and who's been on this program many, many times, lost his beautiful son, Eric Chase, right after he went off to college from a pill that he thought was a Xanax that was laced with fentanyl, which is extremely common. And Eric, on one of our very first episodes where we didn't even have video, it was audio only, spoke to what happened.
Come home from a restaurant.
I'm sorry, love. I can feel it.
That's right. So we get the call that he had taken what he felt was a Xanax that he bought on campus, and it was laced with fentanyl that he didn't know, and he passed.
It's awful. It's the story for too many young Americans and their devastated families who are left to try to pick up the pieces and forge on. This is why we are featuring today a new documentary called Fentanyl, Death Incorporated. It's only an hour long, and it's so worth your time. It's shining the light on just how dire and far-reaching the fentanyl crisis in America really is. Here's a bit from it. Watch.
This is fentanyl. This is your brain on fentanyl. This is your friend's brain that was doing fentanyl with you. This is the guy down the street also doing fentanyl. These are your kids who thought they were taking a Percocet they got from a friend who got it off the internet, but the pill was laced with fentanyl, and now they're unconscious and unresponsive. This is the Mexican cartels. This is the Mexican cartels working with Chinese chemical companies to make pills by the millions, destabilizing the border to traffic enough fentanyl to kill the entire population of a country many times over. This is the ports of British Columbia, where chemicals to make fentanyl are smuggled in by the tonnage, and Canadian super labs are producing fentanyl to export to countries around the world. These are gangs and drug dealers near you, haphazardly mixing fentanyl powder with other chemicals like xylazine, which is a horse tranquilizer, causing the user's skin to fall off. But hey, at least the high lasts longer.
Joining me now, Dr. Robert Marbut, producer of the documentary, along with Billy Baldwin, actor and narrator of the documentary. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. It's such a heavy subject, and it's such an important one. And I could not believe the numbers. Can I just start with this? Dr. Marbut, I'll start with you. The problem, you showed about 28 minutes in the documentary. We all think about the southern border. All our focus is on the southern border. And I mentioned in the tease how Vivek Ramaswamy was right about something, because at a presidential debate, he said the northern border. And he said, we need to watch the northern border because of fentanyl. And people mocked him because it was like the northern border. But you guys make the point in this documentary, it's actually also the East Coast and the West Coast. It's the entire border that is being attacked by bad actors trying to flood our country with this poison.
We have a problem with all of our borders, but a lot of people forget the U.S.-Canadian border is the longest land border between any two countries in the world. So it's not just Blaine to Maine, it's also the western frontier of Canada and the eastern side of Alaska. We have porous borders, or have had porous borders all around. And it's not just the southwest border, it's the northern border, and it's our ports of entry, especially on the waterways.
Exactly. So don't think for 1 second, just because we're in better control of the southern border right now, that this problem is under control. It's not. And one of the things you learn from the documentary, Billy, is that it doesn't take much at all. It's like a grain of salt that can make its way into a pill you thought was, like in Eric Bolling's son's case, a Xanax or like a Percocet or something that young people in particular might be taking, just quote, to take the edge off or just maybe to get a temporary high. It only takes a minuscule amount to kill.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Megyn, for having me. And, I know Eric indirectly through some college buddies of mine on Wall Street. And I'm getting chills and a little verklempt just hearing him, his son didn't die in vain. And the work that's going on right now, the loss of his son will save thousands and thousands of lives moving forward, because we have programs that are working. We do have solutions. There is hope. But right now we have 4.2% of the world's population. We consume 38% of the world's fentanyl. We have 66% of the global deaths from fentanyl. A sugar packet, a sweet and low packet, has enough fentanyl in it to kill 500 people in a sugar packet that you get in your coffee in the morning. More people have died from fentanyl since 2019 in 4.5 years than every casualty we've taken in World War II, Vietnam, Korea, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Afghanistan, Kosovo, every casualty we've had. We had 58,000 plus die in the 15-year campaign in Vietnam, 58,000 plus. We had 100,000 die last year alone.
Oh my gosh.
We had double Vietnam in 1 year. And this sounds like I'll say many controversial things that will probably make you very happy, Megyn, with my position on this issue. But it's kind of a blessing. This is a hard thing to say, but it's a blessing that it's not just happening in super uneducated, poor Appalachian families or in Compton and in Watts. The founder of YouTube, who's a multi-billionaire, her son was at Berkeley a year and a half ago. 18-year-old freshman, same exact thing happened. In our documentary, you have a woman who said her girlfriend never did drugs. She woke up one day, had a couple glasses of champagne at a sorority party or something, had a little bit of a hangover. They said, here, take this. This will make your hangover go away. She took it. She went back to bed to sleep off her hangover. Never did drugs in her life, and she never woke up. And it's such a national absolute catastrophe at this point with the numbers that it's got everybody's attention on the right, on the left, in the news media, everybody.
If you had to look at it, Doc, and say, what's causing this? I mean, my takeaway from watching the documentary, again, and it's called fentanyldeathincorporated.com, and it's going to be hitting soon. I would say it's the Chinese who are providing these precursor ingredients, the Mexican cartels, which then take it the next level and very haphazardly put together a pill that's meant to resemble something that won't hurt you, but could not care less that it will kill you. And then that 38% that Billy just mentioned of Americans these are deaths of despair or decisions of despair to take pills, in a lot of cases, not in all, but to take pills that you don't know the, provenance of, to try to reach for a high on like a minute's notice for getting something from a stranger and taking enormous risks with your life. Your thoughts?
This whole crisis really got going only 15 years ago. This is a real recent deal. And we have to understand it really starts with, in the United States, with the Purdue pharma crisis and scandal.
Yes.
We had millions of
actors.
people. We had millions of people on prescriptions. We had hundreds of thousands addicted. And when all the lawsuits happened and all the prescriptions stopped getting handed out, doled out, what happened was the Mexican cartels with China backfilled that supply in as quick as 90 days. They're horrible people, horrible actors, but they're incredible entrepreneurs. And they saw a market that was now not being served, and they came in and backfilled it immediately. And I went to China for 3 weeks on the movie, both research and shooting. And I think in the beginning for China, it was about the money in the very, very beginning. But now they've realized they can make money, not spend any of their own, and destabilize their number one adversary while making money. And so they had this unholy alliance between the Chinese Communist Party and the Mexican cartels. And now it's moved up to Canada. And now you have the biker gangs in Canada backfilling what the biker gangs, they're starting to backfill what the Mexican cartels were starting to do at the beginning.
You know, it's really crazy because Trump has been in the news for the tariff wars, I mean, for everything, but the tariff wars. And one of the things he was saying about Canada was, I want them to crack down on the fentanyl crisis. And I have to admit, a lot of people just kind of laughed at him. It's like, Canada is not the problem. Hello, it's Mexico. But it wasn't until I saw your film that I was like, oh my God, actually, Canada is a huge part of the problem, Billy, because these cartels got smart and they realized, especially under Trump now, that the southern border is going to be more difficult. And because we're so close with Canada, we've kept that much more porous.
Canada is not only a problem for America. Canada is a problem for Canada. Vancouver is a war zone right now. Vancouver looks like Portland. I mean, it's really, really, really getting bad up there. And you have to remember, this border is, as Dr. Marbut said, is the longest land border between two countries in the world. Plus, we have the U.S. border to the north, not including Alaska. And we have patrols that are literally in kayaks, on ATVs, on mountain bikes, and they can't cover it all. Many of the people on the northern border that are working for Border Patrol are processing people being deported on the southern border. They're doing paperwork. The Northern Patrol is doing the paperwork for people that are guarding the border in the south. So we need to beefing up the northern border. And as you said, this is not going to be addressed only on the supply side. The Mexican president, current Mexican president, and previous Mexican president will tell you, we can take out one or two cartels and 5 or 6 will grow back as long as the demand is there. And if we're 4% of the world's population consuming nearly 40% of this drug and the profit is there, if you take care of one cartel, someone else is going to come in from the Gulf of Mexico, or they're going to come in from Cape Hatteras, or they're going to come in from on a kayak. I mean, right now, as you saw in the documentary, there is a park in BC called Peace Arch Park. And the beauty of our relationship with Canada is they want people to walk through the arch of the park and go to the other side of the border and put down a blanket and have not have a barbecue, have a picnic there. And that's the beauty of our open border. Well, guess what? People are coming to that border with a backpack on. They walk across the border, they get in an Uber, they go to Spokane or Seattle or Portland with 5,000 hits of fentanyl. And that's how it's getting across the border, through Peace Arch Park.
And the film documents also at the southern border how they are very clever, the cartels. They will intentionally send people to sneak across the border, which they know will attract the Border Patrol. And they know exactly how many Border Patrol agents they are, to this area over here on the left, leaving open the area on the right and relatively unpatrolled. And that's where they'll send across the carriers with the fentanyl. Tariff wars, stubborn inflation, no wonder gold has been routinely hitting all-time highs. And volatile markets like the one we have now, don't sit on the sidelines with your head in the sand. You can take control and safeguard your savings. This is why so many Americans today are turning to Birch Gold Group. They have helped tens of thousands convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. Is it time for you to hedge against economic instability with gold? To learn how to own physical gold in a tax-sheltered account, just text MK to the number 989898. Birch Gold will send you a free, no-obligation info kit. Again, text MK to the number 989898. With an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews, Birch Gold has helped so many protect their savings with gold. It took us decades to get into the tangled mess they're trying to unpack now in D.C. How long is it going to take to get out of it, and at what cost? Text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.